Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. Today we're continuing our video series designed to educate the public, so please subscribe to our channel. You've been married for 20 years. Your husband tells you he wants a divorce, you get served with papers. What are you entitled to after 20 years of marriage? That is going to be the discussion. That is going to be the topic of today's video. And the reason why 20 years is important is not because the number 20 is important. The number 20 is just a symbol of a long-term marriage. There are different kinds of marriages. There's long-terms, there's short-terms, there's intermediate term. If you're married 18 months, that's definitely, by everybody's definition, pretty short-term marriage. And if you're married 30 years, that's definitely a long-term. 6 or 7 years is probably an intermediate term. 20 years, I think most people are going to say that's a long-term marriage. Probably most of your adult life. So what is a person entitled to if they find themselves getting a divorce after a long-term marriage? Well, in some cases, it's the same formula for even a shorter-term marriage, and some not. So for example, when we talk about division of marital assets, a 20-year marriage is going to be the same as a 5-year marriage in that we're going to be dividing the marital assets pretty much in half. We're going to divide them fairly and equitably. Equitably doesn't always mean half, but for the most part, for this discussion, let's presume that we're pretty much dividing the house, the business, the cars, the money. Everything's going to be divided in half. We're also dividing debts. We have to service those debts. Those debts after 20 years of marriage are half husbands, half wives. There's very little exception. Unless you can isolate a particular debt that really belongs to one person. So for example, if the marriage breaks up because husband is having an affair and he's spending a lot of money on his girlfriend, you don't have to pay your share of that. That is not a marital debt, okay? But for the most part, things about the house, the kids, the car, even if he has to put a new transmission in his car, it's a marital debt, you're likely going to have to pay your half of that expense. But here's something that's a little bit different when we talk about longer-term marriages, and that is, in a longer-term marriage, the discussion of alimony or spousal support gets to become in play. Such a discussion you may not even have with a one-year marriage. But after 20 years, for example, there's going to be a discussion of alimony. Alimony is going to be based on 3 primary factors and then a bunch of sub-factors. But the primary ones, for the purposes of this quick discussion, are number 1, how long we married. So here we're married 20 years. It's an alimony case. And the longer it gets, the more likely it's a stronger the alimony case. The shorter, the weaker the alimony case. Number 2, how much money does mom make? How much money does dad make? In other words, what's the disparity of income between the parties? If there's a great disparity in that the wife is, let's say, not working and the husband's a high wage earner, it's going to be a stronger alimony case for more money. If husband and wife both work to make the same amount of money, it's going to be a very, very weak case, or even a case where there's no alimony because they make the same amount of money, so there is no disparity of income. Number 3, even if it's a long-term marriage and the disparity of income, is there available money to pay for it? In other words, the money has to be available to pay the alimony. If the parties are divorcing and the husband is taking away so much debt that he has to service so that he doesn't, even though he's a high wage earner, he doesn't have money to pay alimony because he's servicing all the marital debt. And why is he servicing it all? Because she has no job. So if he's taking on all the marital debt, that weakens the alimony case because it diminishes the fund available out of which to pay it. Said differently, she's getting the alimony, but it's going to service her obligation. Remember, the debts are half yours and half hers. So that's another way of looking at it. Obviously, it's a case-by-case basis, and every single case is different. If you have questions about yours, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.